You know her for her comedy, her steampunk, her werewolves. But now, Gail Carriger is about to give sci-fi adventure a major kick in the pants.
This is J. Daniel Sawyer of Artistic Whispers Productions. I've been doing audio production for 14 years. I produced the Full-Cast sample chapter of Soulless, and I'm very proud to announce a full-cast science fiction adventure unlike anything you've ever heard before. Gail Carriger's Crud Rat.
Hi everybody, this is Gail Carriger. This is a real departure for me as a writer. Most of my stuff until now are steampunk. They're romantic, they're adult, and they tend to be very silly and very frivolous. Crud Rat is an exciting adventure story, really fast-paced, action-packed sci-fi space opera. Although there's still a lot of silly side characters, and I have a lot of fun with playing with characterization because that's my favorite thing to do.
It may not be comedy or fantasy or steampunk or romance, but it is every inch a Gail Carriger novel.
I've been waiting for this book for years, and we would have had it sooner, except for that one other thing.
What I did is I wrote this book. The Parasol Protectorate series took off, and most of my time ended up being taken up writing those books instead. But I still had this little passion of mine, so I just sort of handed it out to some of my friends to read. And Dan Sawyer read this book, and he really enjoyed it.
Okay, I have to interrupt here for a minute because she's really underselling it. I didn't just really like this book. I went over the moon. This is Golden Age science fiction with a 21st century edge. It's not just the awesome characters or the adventure or the aliens, it's the sheer sense of place and language and ideas. But still, Gail doing something that isn't comedy? Doing science fiction? Oh yes, and she hit it out of the park and right into orbit. It's way too weird and wonderful and varied for a single reader to ever do it justice, so I said to Gail, look, we need to make this exciting and exotic like I did for that sample chapter of Soulless, but way more, we need to make this as big as the story itself. We have to do this full cast. And Gail thought it was a really great idea.
And I happen to be a huge fan of audiobooks and a huge fan of podcasting. So I thought that was a really good idea.
It really is. See, with a normal audiobook, one person reads the full text of the book. Simple. But with a full-cast audiobook, you get a movie for your ears, full soundscaping, a musical score, and different actors playing the different roles. You get all the narration too, the full text of the book, just like a regular audiobook, but made so it sounds like you're there in the room with your favorite characters watching events as they unfold in your head. So when Gail gave me the thumbs up, I called Danny Shade, this fantastic composer I've been working with for years, and said, hey, Shady, you want to do Gail's new book with me? And he said, yeah, this is gonna be fucking kick-ass. What can I say? He does a lot of performing. You build up quite a vocabulary. But he's good. Real good. He does everything from electronica to blues to symphonies, and he's already started laying the groundwork for Crud Rat. You can hear some of the tracks playing in the background right now. So then I started calling actors, pros like Veronica Jaguar, who does some of Mercedes Lackey's stuff, and Dave Robison, who's been doing ad voices in audiobooks and theater for decades, and Nathan Lowell, who's won all sorts of awards, and a raft of other people, and I asked them all to come and play. We've got a core team here ready to take Crud Rat and make it into audio magic, because that's something that good science fiction deserves, and Crud Rat is good science fiction, and written by a scientist. After all, Gail is an archaeologist.
The first alien race, at least the Maura encounters, is based on my archaeological research into the Inca Empire. So I took some of the most peculiar things that I had learned about the ancient Incas, and I morphed them into these kind of polar bear fuzzy ice alien creatures in order to get an alien culture that seems extremely alien to a Western audience. The world building and the scientific grounding for the series was based on some research that I did into dark energy and dark matter. Something that you always strive for when you're writing science fiction is faster than light travel. So my technology is based on dark energy and dark matter and the conversion of one into the other.
But this isn't just about Crud Rat. This is about something bigger. The return of real young adult adventure. No dystopian hopelessness, no bleak apocalypse, no endless angst, just real, hard-ass adventure set in realistic, dysfunctional, rich worlds with moral complexity, filled with characters with tremendous courage. This is not your father's science fiction. It's better, and it's happening now, right when we need it most.
When I was a little girl, I read so much. I was a huge reader, but all of the stuff that I read was fantasy. And it took me over a decade to really find and discover and learn to love science fiction. I wanted to love sci-fi and I wanted to get into it, but I couldn't find any science fiction that had a young female heroine that I could relate to. And I didn't understand why nobody was writing it. Why wasn't writing girls kicking ass only in space? And so when I grew up and became an author, I thought I would write this book. So Maura, who's the main character, is a blue-haired cyberpunk troublemaking girl with a really badass attitude, and I took her training for her job from parkour. She has snappy friends, and she has a crazy encounter with an extremely fuzzy alien, which changes her life. So I wrote Crud Rat as a labor of love. I just wanted to write this book for me as a girl. Maybe someone can send it back in time.
And to make Crud Rat happen, we need your help. $7,000 will pay all the actors, the composer, the artists, cover our legal fees, and pay for the rewards you get when you donate. There's lots of them.
Exclusive special edition hardbacks, CD and downloadable versions of the production, Tea with Gail. You can even get a producer's credit, so anytime someone listens to the book, they'll hear that you helped make this possible.
And if we make our goal, there's not going to be any of this crap where you're waiting around forever for your rewards. All of our primary rewards will ship by February 25th, 2014. Some of them will ship a lot sooner. But even if you can only spare $1, that's enough to give you access to the production feed. We'll be posting samples of the audiobook in progress, behind-the-scenes videos about the casting, the artwork, the recording, and a whole lot else to give you an intimate, exclusive, behind-the-scenes look at this unique style of audiobook production. So please, help us make our goal so everybody wins and Crud Rat takes its rightful place as the classic science fiction coming-of-age adventure it's destined to be. I can't wait to make this happen.
So I hope it happens.